Hi friends, welcome back to Amy Bakes. I'm Amy and today we are going to pull a recipe out of my family recipe book. It is a dessert that is so easy, you're just not going to believe it. It is so delicious, so easy. We're going to make rice pudding. And so let's go over the supplies and the ingredients that we're going to need. So like I said, this one is a super easy one, guys. You've got 4 ingredients. You're going to need 1 quart of milk. That is 4 cups. I use whole milk. I suppose you could use whatever kind you want. We just always use whole milk in the house. That's just kind of our standard. You're going to need 7 ounces of sugar. And for our UK friends, that breaks down to 200 grams. You're going to need 6 ounces of rice, which is 170 grams. And you are going to need 1.5 teaspoons or so of vanilla. And for your supplies, you're not going to get any simpler than this. You are going to need a measuring cup to measure your milk. You're going to need a saucepan, and you're going to need a spoon. And guys, that's it. So what we're going to do is we are going to pour our milk into our saucepan. And then we are going to add our rice and our sugar. You're not going to add the vanilla now. You're going to add the vanilla later. And the reason why is because, remember, you don't want to boil your vanilla or it is going to lose some of its potency. So you always add vanilla last after it is boiled and cooked down. And then we're going to sit here and stir this for what is going to seem like forever. You literally have to just sit and stir and stir and stir because you don't want your milk to scorch. And that's really the only, if you could call it, hard part of this recipe, because really it is so super simple. 4 ingredients, minimal equipment. So this is not going to be one that you're going to feel like you have to like completely clean your kitchen when it's all over. And that's it. But you just have to stir it so that your milk doesn't scorch. And so this is one of those dedicated recipes. I mentioned that when I did the fudge recipe. It's one that you just have to dedicate time to. So this one, you need about 45 minutes to an hour where you can stand here and do nothing but stir. So while we're standing here stirring and waiting, I'm going to tell y'all, this recipe actually is my mother-in-law's. So if you remember, I told you that we did the family cookbook. Abby, you want to take a little shot over there? That's our family cookbook. And I've just compiled recipes from different members of the family. And we just put them all together. And then I created this recipe book and gave them as a Christmas gift to all the family members one year. And my mother-in-law was from Paris, France. And so we have a lot of French recipes in the book. And she gave me this one. And so this is one that my husband loved growing up. And funny story about that. One time she got some cottage cheese and she had it in a bowl, and my husband thought that it was rice pudding. And so he took a big bite of that. That was quite the surprise. He still hates cottage cheese to this day, actually, I guess because of that. But anyways, so this recipe came from my mother-in-law. And my kids called her Grandma Wace because they couldn't pronounce the last name. So it just kind of stuck, and we still call her, instead of mom or whatever, we call her Grandma Wace. So Grandma Wace would tell us when you're looking for the ingredients on this one. In the notes of the cookbook, she put 6 ounces of rice, the cheapest one. So this is not one of those that you're going to go grab your expensive ingredients on. The cheaper, the better is what she would always tell me. I guess because it just absorbs more milk. I don't know, but she always said, get the cheapest one you can find. So if you're going to do this, and isn't that a cost saver? So just go get the cheapest white rice you can find. And just on this one, I do use just regular, the white sugar. I don't use my organic sugar from Costco because it's kind of a darker color. And I want the color on this to come out white at the end. I don't want that darker sugar to change the color. So just use the regular white granulated sugar, cheapest rice you can find. And then I use whole milk. I suppose you could use another one, but I figure on this recipe, it's rice, sugar, and milk. This is not the place you want to worry about fats and things like that. So go ahead and get whole milk. So as you can see, the little bubbles beginning to form. This is starting to boil. So we're going to go, you set it to boil, and then you just drop that heat down to medium or medium low and just keep stirring, 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 stirring. I'm going to try to get the camera in here real close, but as it's boiling, you can kind of start seeing the rice is beginning to swell up a little bit, and you can kind of start seeing it while the milk is rolling. You can kind of start seeing little grains of rice in it. So just keep stirring. We're getting there. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. We're going to keep stirring. Just keep stirring. But it is beginning to thicken, so there is hope and a light at the end of the tunnel. When you first start this and it's just milk, you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way that that little bit of rice is going to absorb that much milk. Just keep stirring. Just keep going. I promise this is going to thicken up. Okay, we are almost there. This is getting good and thick. It's going to look different than when you boil rice in water. You know, when you boil rice in water and you look in your pan, the water's completely absorbed and you just have the rice there. This is still going to have that puddingy texture, and you're still going to see some of that milk. It's just going to look different. I hope that makes sense. It's just going to look different. You'll see it in just a minute. So rice pudding is one of those you either like it or you don't. And so, confession, I was one that did not like rice pudding. I had tried it before and it just wasn't my thing. And so when Grandma Wace made it, I was kind of like, well, I'm going to try it because, you know, Grandma Wace made it. And actually, this one is very good. This one converted me. And I just don't know if it's because the French way of making it is different than the ways that I've tried it before, or if it was just that everything that Grandma Wace made, she made with love. So this is one that after I tried it, I really liked it. And we make it quite a bit. And it reminds us of Grandma Wace. Okay, I think that is done. And now we are going to add the vanilla. Okay, so the recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And if you know me, we're just going to eyeball that. I would say that's about 1.5. And then we're going to stir that in. You can add raisins to it. Some people do. You don't need to, but you can. And so now we're just going to stir that in. And then we are going to just let this sit and cool. Just stir it in really good. There we go. We're going to let that sit and cool. And then you can just spoon this up and you can serve it warm or cold. I'm sorry, guys, I miss her. Okay, there you go. Thank you guys for joining me today in this very special recipe. It's one of those that just floods our memories of a very special woman that we love and miss dearly. I would like to encourage you to try this recipe, even if you think that maybe you're not a fan of rice pudding like I wasn't. This one might just convert you over, and I think it will. So definitely give it a try. I would also like to invite you to hit that like and subscribe button and that bell notification so that you'll be notified when I upload new videos. If you have any questions, leave me a comment on this one. I do read all of your comments. Also want to thank you for those that already have hit that subscribe button. We're 361 strong, and I want to say thank you. This kind of started as a project to teach some friends of mine that lived out of state how to make some recipes, and I really never imagined we would get to 361 subscribers. So that's really a fun thing. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a great time sharing my recipes with you, and my kids are having fun. They do the video, the editing, and of course the eating of all the recipes when we're done. And so I hope that you're enjoying the videos, and I hope that you're finding some great recipes that you can share with your friends and families as well.